Mark Bunker, 765 Bruce Ave. This past weekend, the St. Pete Times printed a series of comments from its readers who were asked what they think about when they think about Clearwater. To the surprise of practically no one, there were several negative comments about Scientology. But what may surprise and even shock some people is what happened next. Scientology investigated those people, and later that day posted on the internet anonymous information that one of those writers had supposedly committed a felony. This is L. Ron Hubbard's written policy. If someone attacks you, attack back. Do a noisy investigation. Shudder them into silence. How far will they go? Well, today we got news from Boston that the person who walks Bob Mitten's dog was met in the street by one of Scientology's PIs who strolled along on this dog walk asking questions about Bob, his home, his computers, and whether the dog walker reports his income to the IRS. Now that's just one little piece of the investigation they're running on Bob. Scientology has literally spent millions of tax-free dollars on PIs and covert operations to silence Bob Mitten. They're working all over the globe. One of those investigators, Brian Raftery, recently testified that Scientology pays him $187,000 a year. That's just one PI. They're in Boston, New Hampshire, Tennessee, London, Switzerland, Nigeria. They follow Bob's children. They spread lies to his old friends and business partners. They feed false information to any reporter they can get to listen to them. Recently, they published on the internet personal information from Bob's medical files, information that's supposed to be held strictly confidential. And speaking of confidential, we promised the people who turned to the Lisa McPherson Trust for help that we would keep their information confidential. This week, Scientology is trying to use the court system to break that confidence and force us to turn over our records so they can attack those people and shudder them into silence. Well, it's not going to happen. When I think of Clearwater, I think of Gabe Cazares, the courageous former mayor who stood up to Scientology and was attacked viciously. And when Scientology's covert operations against Gabe were discovered in FBI raids, Gabe Cazares sued Scientology, only to discover that the lawyer he hired was himself a Scientologist that the cult had brought in expressly to befriend Gabe at his country club and get him to hire him so he can botch Gabe's case. That lawyer was disbarred for his actions. As you talk about downtown redevelopment, I suggest that you should put up a statue to Gabe Cazares, and I would put it right in front of the old Clearwater Bank building, because that's where they planned and executed the operations against Gabe, and that's where they still do their dirty work. I would put it on that statue, Gabe Cazares, American Hero. And underneath that, his famous quote, "Sparkling Clearwater is not for sale at any price." Maybe that will begin to balance out the gigantic Scientology cross that will soon loom over the entire downtown. If Clearwater is not for sale today, it's only because Scientology is not ready to sell. Thank you.
Thank you.